This is section 1.2, overtime pay. So in our first question, we have, what is overtime pay? So overtime pay is a payment that you might receive when you work for more than your regular hours. There are two types of overtime rates, and we are going to fill in the blanks so we can know more about it. So our first type of overtime rate is the time and a half. So your hourly pay rate will be multiplied by 1.5. The second type of overtime rate is the double time. And this means that your hourly rate will be multiplied by 2. Usually in a workplace, you get the time and a half overtime rate. The formulas that we are going to use in this section are first, overtime pay equals overtime rate times or multiplied by the overtime hours worked. The second formula that we are going to be using in this section is total pay equals straight time pay plus the overtime pay. And just as a side note, the total pay is often called gross pay. We go to our concept check, and on problem number 1, it says Josie Spelling earns $9 per hour and works 40 hours per week. Since she had to work on Thanksgiving, her employer paid her time and a half for the additional 6 hours she put in. Find the total pay for the week. And on step number 1, we find the straight time pay. Okay, so the formula for the straight time pay is equal to hourly rate times the regular hours worked. We have that the hourly rate was $9 and she worked, or the regular hours that she worked were 40 hours. We go to our calculator and we have $9 multiplied by 40 hours. That means that her straight time pay is $360. Okay. So now step number 2. Find the overtime pay. So our formula for the overtime pay equals overtime rate times or multiplied by the overtime hours worked. Now the overtime rate is 1.5, right? That's what the problem says. And we are going to multiply that by 9. So let's go to our calculator. And we have 1.5 multiplied by $9. That is 13.50. Okay. So I'm gonna write it right here as the result of that product or that multiplication. And then the 13.50, we are going to multiply it by the overtime hours worked, which were 6 hours. So again, we go to our calculator, and the 13.50 that we already found, we are going to multiply it by 6. That is a total of $81. Now in step 3, we need to find the total pay. We are going to be using the formula total pay equals straight time pay plus overtime pay. So in this exercise, we are going to use the two results we found on step 1 and on step 2. So on step 1, we found the straight time pay. that was $360. On step 2, we found the overtime pay, which was $81. And so we go to our calculator, and we have 360 plus $81. It's $441. So my total pay is $441. Now go to your textbook, look for section 1.2, and complete the homework. Complete the problems 4, 6, 9, and 12.